Hi, can you hear me, guys? Ken, should I start? Okay, so let's start. So this talk is about qualitative and computational analysis or analyses of chaotic behavior in a plasma system. And this plasma system, this is part of this work has been published already in the International Journal of Qualitative Science. So, okay. So let's proceed to the issue. So physical plasma versus biological plasma. Let me close the camera so there can be a more stable connection. Okay. Now, okay. So physical plasma versus biological plasma. I'm just going to quote a co-worker of Irving Langmuir, who described the term plasma that he chose. That Langmuir chose at the time. I just want to underscore the one quality of chaotic systems, qualitatively. That is this is a very important quality, which is the transitive mixed state of any chaotic system. So this is something, the other attributes is the sensitivity to initial conditions. And some of the chaotic systems are deterministic. Even though they are not predictable, but that's a different story. So anyway, so Langmuir observed that there is an underlying fluid-like, if you wish, substratum that carries some corpuscles or particulates within the gaseous plasma state. So, and he decided to name this state the gaseous electronic state as a plasma. But then there is one important word, which is the equilibrium part of the chart. And we'll talk more about this equilibrium that he observed in this gaseous electronic system. Now, this is an introduction. So we will talk, as in any physical experiment, we have to combine the observed source with the observation tool. So the plasma source must be described by a diagnostic tool, and both of these observed and observation tool has to be described as one system, as a system. And then using elements of chaos theory, these fundamentals of plasma physics phenomena, let's see. Okay, yeah. Using elements of chaos theory, fundamental plasma phenomena can be mathematically abstracted and further analyzed. To mathematically abstract something, we should be careful within the context of describing physical systems, because if we just imagine that any mathematical abstracted system alone, without combining it with the appropriate physics, be it from modeling or from experiment, then we'll be falling into many traps that will yield results that are meaningless. So mathematical abstraction is a good tool. Chaos theory is an example of that, but we must be used with care. Now, some 30 years ago, I'm gonna just showcase some of the work of people who did some real physical experiments on plasma, and they were naming their findings names that did not relate directly to chaos theory, but the resemblance is stark, so to speak. So, and then in the 90s, people were really explicit with attaching elements of chaos theory to the plasma physics observations. Chaos theory is, again, it's a mathematical theory originally, and it's still developing. People now are attempting to use it to describe or analyze systems in plasma systems, physical plasmas in gaseous, liquid, and solid state. In this talk, I'll be talking about showcasing some of the qualitative work that I already published in this area. So there is a story or a narrative to be told. That's just the nature of qualitative analysis, which is, I must say that there is a gap worldwide about using qualitative methods or research methods, describing them ahead of venturing into experiments or trying to analyze systems as complicated as plasma systems. So qualitative analysis is a must. It's something that should be practiced more often. And then we'll do this computational analysis. The emphasis will be on the, hello? I can't see the, I can't see my slides. So let me just go. Hello?
Hardware fidelity.
Okay, so yeah, let's go back to this introduction portion of the talk. So we'll be focusing on the charged gaseous plasma, and then we'll be describing, probably for the first time, the logistic aspect of maintaining the charged particles or the charged state of the plasma. So let's just go over some of the review of some of the analytics. You can see just the typical Langmuir probe traces. As they are abstracted physically. So you can see the crisp knees and the load line. This is just a typical logistic curve. They look like a logistic curve that you can borrow from any logistics textbook, really. I mean, you can see really the growth of the population of the charged species and the intersection with the resources, so to speak, or the sustaining voltage. Not the sustaining voltage for the plasma, no. It's the probe sensing the actual sustaining voltage for the charged or the charges in the plasma. So again, this is an example of a work that I'm going to show 2 or 3 more examples that have been done in a complete context of, let me just go back. Yeah, they've been done in a complete context of, it's a little bit unstable, so let me just go back and do this again. Okay, let's see. Let's just go back. It's probably sensitive to, so. Okay, let's just go back. Yeah. Okay. So again, logistics, and then let's just move on, probably for the time now, and then back. Yeah. So this is typical logistic behavior, where you have a linear line that represents resources as sensed by the probe, by the Langmuir probe, and then the population of the charged species. So now we're describing population of charges, really, in the plasma. Now let's keep going with the abstraction idea. Now, what we're looking at here, what are we looking at? We're looking at a simultaneous Langmuir trace when we approach what we call the attractive part of, again, abstraction, attractive part of the bias, sweeping bias, time sweep of the bias of the probe. This is actually simultaneous occurrence that was attributed at the time to the non-cleanliness of the probe. So the probe wasn't clean. Probably that's valid. Another point, we can use such circuits that are not to be found these days to examine 2 things, actually. The apparent shift in the knee, as we see the simultaneous curves, they can give indication about the work function of the probe tip, as well as the situation when the electron current saturates. And that's important, as we're going to see along more. Now, this is another qualitative description, again, within a complete physical context. It does describe an instability, but you can see clearly the so we can see clearly this continuous bifurcation.
Sorry, this is Ken, the organizer. Sorry for my technical issues as well, but we're running.
No problem, sir.
If you can wrap your talk like 2 minutes, I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and continue. So this is qualitative, and then we can see also this is saddle node bifurcation again. This is signatures again. This is another. This is just to convince you that plasma gaseous electronics and plasmas behave chaotically. And then you can do a model. You can just go to the model in my paper that is published already. I attached the documents in the handout section. So this is to convince you that actually it resembles something like logistic equations. Plus, this is the logistic map, just textbook standard logistic map. A few remarks to close. The behavior of the again, the chaotic behavior is important in plasma. However, care must be used in using these such mathematical abstractions. The Langmuir probe wants to be the features of the Langmuir probe traces should be redefined based on the findings or the resemblance of it with the logistic equation. Let's see, what else? So, again, choice from the abstract to specific mathematical chaos theory models helps in tackling a wide variety of simple and complicated plasma physics problems that were treated before with classical mathematical methods only. So people were just laboring with these extremely difficult mathematical tools like differential equations and such, but there is a lot of tools can be borrowed from the chaos theory that can treat such nonlinear dynamical system easier. So modern, again, stress on the modern and contemporary qualitative analysis techniques and research methods are to be introduced as part of future scientific proposals to properly address major plasma scientific issues, plasma physics issues. Thank you very much. And this is a paper that I published on the 4th of July. You can refer
to thank you so much.
The handout, section.
We'll cut the talk here and please use the chat for the questions.
Not a problem. I'll be available tomorrow also, Ken, Friday, so people can interact with me tomorrow.
Thank you. Let's move on.